Welcome back to our channel. Stop scrolling for a second, because what you're about to hear today is not just another K-pop news story. This isn't about who has the most followers or who went viral on TikTok this week. This is about an official recognition from one of the most trusted institutions in the world, Forbes. Yes, Forbes Korea just released a list that made the entire Korean entertainment industry, and honestly, the entire world paused for a moment. And the names sitting at the top of that list, you already know them, BTS. But wait, because it's not just BTS as a group that made it. Several members individually locked down strategic positions on the same list. And Jungkook, he's on there for reasons that are going to make your jaw drop. Stay right here, because before this video is over, you'll understand exactly why this achievement isn't just a number on paper. It's hard proof that a cultural force is permanently redrawing the map of the global entertainment industry. Before we talk about who won, we need to talk about what we're actually talking about. Every year, Forbes Korea releases a list called the Power Celebrity 40 of the most influential celebrities in Korea. But don't misunderstand, this is not some popularity poll that fans can game by clicking a button a million times. The Power Celebrity 40 rankings are determined based on four major indicators: estimated earnings, which carries the heaviest weight at 50%, media mentions at 15%, social media influence at 15%, and fan votes at 20%. The list is compiled from the top 70 candidates based on portal search volume in Korea. So when someone or a group sits at number one on this list, it means they are not just popular. They are generating real money, dominating news coverage, ruling social media, and commanding the largest fandom support. This is a 360-degree evaluation. And in 2026, one name stood at the top in a way that honestly made every competitor look miles below. You might remember that last year's Forbes Korea list looked a little different. BTS wasn't there as a group. Why? Because every single member was serving mandatory military service. In 2025, only individual BTS members were ranked. That year's top spot went to IU, followed by Sun Heung-min, aespa, Jun Hyunmoo, and Lim Young-won. But 2026? This is the year of the resurrection. BTS has officially claimed the number one spot on Forbes Korea's 40 most powerful celebrities of 2026 ranking, reaffirming the group's unmatched influence across entertainment, culture, and global pop music. And this wasn't a narrow win. This was total domination. Forbes Korea estimated the group's total earnings at approximately $222 million, around 334 billion won, following BTS's full member comeback in March 2026, their first group return in 4 years. Think about that. For years, members entered the military one by one. The K-pop industry kept moving, new groups kept emerging, trends shifted every 6 months, and the entertainment world kept spinning without stopping. Many people were asking, would BTS still be relevant after being away for so long? The answer came loud and clear: $222 million in a single year. But where does a number that massive even come from? This is where it gets interesting. The earnings included profits from luxury fashion ambassador activities, solo music projects, documentaries, and various independent ventures outside group promotions. Forbes Korea also noted that each member maintains separate revenue streams tied to their personal activities, including Jin's variety show appearances, RM's art collaboration projects, Suga's producing credits, and solo music royalties generated by Jimin, V, and Jungkook. This isn't just artists singing songs and collecting paychecks. This is a complete business ecosystem operating across multiple lanes simultaneously. Forbes Korea highlighted that BTS became the first K-pop act ever to remain at number one on the Billboard 200 for 3 consecutive weeks. The group is also currently conducting a massive stadium world tour spanning multiple cities worldwide. 3 consecutive weeks at the top of the Billboard 200, a stadium world tour, and 31 active endorsement deals. This isn't just a comeback, this is a reclamation of the throne. Now, we get into the part that is truly fascinating, because it's not just BTS as a group showing up on this list. Occupying the 2nd through 10 spots overall, we find G-Dragon of Big Bang, Blackpink, Sun Heung-min, Lim Youngwoo, BTS's Jin at 6, V at 7th, Jungkook at 8th, baseball player Lee Young-ho, and BTS's J-Hope at 10th. Count that up. BTS as a group sits at number 1. Then Jin at 6, V at 7, Jungkook at 8, J-Hope at 10. 5 out of the top 10 are BTS. Half of the entire top 10 is owned by a single group. A group that just came back from mandatory military service. If that isn't the definition of dominance, I genuinely don't know what is. Let's break down each one. Jin 6th place, the highest ranked individual BTS member. Known to his fans as worldwide handsome. But Forbes Korea didn't put him at number 6 because of his looks. The lead single from Jin's second solo mini-album, Don't Say You Love Me, reached number 1 on Spotify's global chart after its release in May 2026. His solo fan concert tour, runseekjin_ep.tour, also made waves after landing at 9th place on Billboard's top tour monthly chart. And even more remarkably, the tour reportedly recorded the highest revenue and audience numbers ever achieved by any Asian solo artist, and placed 14th on Polestar's global concert tour top 20 list. This isn't a BTS member trying out a solo career. This is a world-class artist proving he can stand tall on the international stage under his own name. V, or Kim Taehyung for those who knew his name before the stage name. An artist with an aesthetic sensibility that consistently stays ahead of the curve. His presence at 7th place surprised no one who has followed his individual journey. V has built a genuinely distinct artistic identity, one that separates itself from the group's image through fashion, visual art, jazz-influenced music, and collaborations with ultra-premium brands. It's an identity that draws in people who might have never listened to K-pop a day in their lives. And then there's Jungkook, 8th place, the youngest member, and the name generating the most conversation outside of Korea. Jungkook placed at 8th position on the Forbes Korea Power Celebrity 2026 list. But the context behind that number is far larger than it appears on the surface. Remember, this is the young man who, earlier in 2026, had already been recognized globally not just as a K-pop star, but as a cross-border cultural icon. Jungkook from BTS had been ranked 18th on the top 25 most famous persons in the world list, standing alongside Cristiano Ronaldo, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump. He was the only K-pop artist included in that list. The only K-pop artist among names that define global conversation across industries. The platform described Jungkook as a globally popular and influential music star, praising his powerful vocals, charismatic personality, and outstanding performances that have captivated millions of fans worldwide. His influence was noted as extending far beyond South Korea, establishing him as a true international icon. Particular attention was given to his solo releases, including chart-topping singles 7, 3D, and Standing Next to You, which achieved number 1 rankings on major international charts and attracted billions of streams. Jungkook ranked 5th among individual BTS members in the earnings category, with income that included ongoing solo music projects and royalties that continue to generate revenue. Now, let's talk about one of the most dramatic aspects of the entire Forbes Korea process this year: the fandom voting category. The fandom voting category reportedly gathered nearly 27 million votes from 192 countries. 27 million votes from 192 countries. This doesn't feel like a K-pop fan poll anymore. It feels like an international election. The fandom vote was held on Net Plus from April 20th to May 10th. G-Dragon ultimately took first place with 13,628,842 votes, narrowly ahead of BTS, who came in second with 13,100,361 votes, a gap of just 528,481 votes. Think about how tight that is. Less than 100 million votes separating the two out of nearly 27 million total. It's like a marathon where the winner only pulls ahead in the final meters after 42 kilometers of running side by side. Actor Cha Eun-woo ranked 3rd, followed by BTS members Jimin, Jin, V, Jungkook, IV's Jang Wonyoung, and J-Hope from BTS. Notice, even within a single voting category, multiple BTS members appear as individuals. This tells you that ARMY BTS's global fandom is not simply a group of people who love their favorite artists. They are an organized force that moves with coordination and dedication that few fandoms in history have ever matched. Okay, maybe you're thinking, it's just a list. Every year, there's a new list. Next year, it might look completely different. And you wouldn't be wrong. Lists like this do come and go. But there's a context you need to understand to truly grasp the meaning of what happened in 2026. BTS is not just a group that managed a successful comeback. They are a phenomenon that tested one of the biggest unanswered questions in Korean entertainment history. Can a K-pop group survive mandatory military service and come back stronger than before? For years, military service was seen as a potential career killer for male Korean artists. Momentum disappears. Fans move on to new groups. Trends shift. And when an artist returns after 2 years, the world has already moved on. BTS proved that formula doesn't apply universally. They came back, and Forbes Korea, with its data on earnings, media exposure, and voting from 192 countries, put an official stamp on that resurrection. The results once again highlighted the immense global reach of Korean entertainment and the growing influence of K-pop. But beyond that, this is a signal to the entire industry that there's a new model for building an artist's legacy, that with a strong enough fandom foundation, with a deep enough emotional connection between artists and their listeners, even distance and time cannot sever that bond. 31 active endorsement deals, a stadium world tour, 3 consecutive weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200, total earnings of $222 million. This is not luck. This is the result of years of investment in an authentic relationship between 7 young men from Korea and millions of people in every corner of the world. As you can probably imagine, the moment Forbes Korea dropped this list, social media absolutely exploded. Related hashtags trended in country after country. Fans from Indonesia, Brazil, the Philippines, the United States, India, everyone celebrated this achievement in their own way. Some made infographics tracing BTS's journey from debut to the top of Forbes. Some cried remembering the difficult moments while BTS members were serving in the military, wondering whether they would ever return to where they once stood. And now they didn't just return to the same position, they came back to a higher one. Fans flooded social media with amazement at the group's massive earnings. Most comments emphasize just how unprecedented this phenomenon is. A group that wasn't active for nearly 4 years, then returned, and immediately generated hundreds of millions of dollars in a single year. And this might be the most human part of this entire story. Millions of people around the world feeling genuine joy watching something they believed didn't turn out to be real. That loyalty has value. That waiting pays off. That love deep enough can cross the boundaries of time, language, and country. Now the most interesting question, what's next? With all this momentum, where does BTS go from here? Their Stadium World Tour is still running. 31 active endorsement deals means their business machine is running at full capacity. Each member is also continuing to develop their solo projects, which means the flow of content, music, and stories won't stop even between group schedules. And the most fascinating thing to watch, how will the dynamic between fully matured solo careers and group identity evolve? During nearly 4 years apart, each of these 7 members grew as individuals artistically, personally, professionally. RM with his art projects, Jin with his solo world tour, Jungkook with his global streaming records. When 7 artists with individual identities this strong come back together, the result could be something that has genuinely never existed before in K-pop history. Forbes Korea 2026 might just be the opening chapter of a far bigger new era. So that's the story behind the Forbes Korea 2026 list, the one that named BTS and its members, including Jungkook, as the most influential celebrities of the year. But I want to close this video with a thought that's maybe a little different from what you usually hear in K-pop content. This achievement is not just about BTS. It's about what becomes possible when quality meets consistency, meets authentic human connection. BTS didn't build their empire on a formula. They built it honestly with music that speaks about pain, hope, confusion, and love in a way that feels universal rather than manufactured. And ARMY, the fandom spread across 192 countries, the one that cast nearly 27 million votes in a single poll. They are not just consumers. They are part of a cultural movement whose true scale we are only just beginning to understand. What do you think? Were you surprised by BTS's dominance on Forbes Korea 2026? Who's your favorite member? Write it in the comments. I read every single one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because there are so many more stories like this one coming your way. See you in the next video. Stay golden.